Charlotte and Raleigh are two of the fastest growing cities here in North Carolina. But which one is the best place for you to live in 2025? Well, in this video, we're gonna go over the key differences and help you decide. My name is Brandy. I am a local Charlotte realtor who relocated here myself, so I know all the ins and outs that you might be wondering if you're thinking about making a move to the Carolinas. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you can be notified when we post new content every week. And of course, be sure to grab our free relocation guide down here in the link if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the Charlotte area. We're just going to start off with some really high level numbers comparing the two differences. Overall, right now, Charlotte metro area, and there's the key to it because you could type in Charlotte City and you can get a very different number. However, we're going to compare apples to apples as best as we can here. So we're going to talk about Charlotte metro area. Now, this covers even some places in South Carolina like Rock Hill, Fort Mill. This covers all the way up to like Norman area, like Wiley area. So Charlotte metro area population is just over 2.8 million, and Raleigh's metro area is just over 1.3 million. So quite a large difference there. So Charlotte is a bit bigger when you look at it in terms of population. Now, Charlotte is growing at about 2.5% every year, where Raleigh is growing at about 3% every year. So they are kind of outpacing us a little bit. Okay, so moving on to the cost of living. Charlotte's cost of living is about 2% higher than Raleigh's. It is seemed to be said that Charlotte's earning potential is also a bit higher. Depending on the website that you look at, they're coming in at pretty much about even. What I want to say to that now is the caveat is the job opportunities will offset that. Diving right into the job opportunities, Charlotte is known for its booming job market here. We are currently still known for the second largest financial hub with big players such as Bank of America and BB&T, as well as like Truist and a bunch of other ones. However, we are also kind of coming up to speed on the tech and healthcare here. We've got Nova and Atrium, where Raleigh is more known for its academic, for its research. It is actually known as the Research Triangle. It's got leading education facilities such as Duke, UNC, Chapel Hill. So there's a ton of education over in the area. So they are known for their research. We kind of say that like Raleigh is really good at educating the people, and then they come over to work in Charlotte. So depends on how you look at it, depends on what your industry is. If I had to guess, that's why Charlotte is growing so quickly in comparison to Raleigh. It's just simply we have more job opportunities here. So even though the cost of living is a bit higher, we have the opportunity to make more money and to get a job quicker here. Now, when we're talking about cost of living, I know the biggest thing that you guys are concerned about is, of course, real estate or your living expense. Charlotte is a bit higher. So right now the average home price is about $450,000 in the Charlotte area, where on average the home price is about $430,000 in Raleigh. Not a huge difference, but honestly, in this economy and with these interest rates, every dollar counts. If you're looking to rent, if you're not quite looking to purchase a home yet, rent is slightly, ever so slightly cheaper in the Raleigh area. On average, your rent is about $1,750 here in Charlotte, where that same apartment would cost about $1,650 in the Raleigh area. So again, slightly different, slightly more affordable over in Raleigh, and I get it, every dollar counts. And when we're looking at other costs here, in general, utilities, groceries, transportation, they're all really similar here. Actually, Raleigh does not have a blue line or like a light rail system, so there is even less public transportation in the Raleigh area to my knowledge. But on average, those daily costs of living in terms of activities and restaurants, those are all pretty much neck and neck. So really the living cost is like your housing cost is the biggest difference there. So switching gears into kind of your lifestyle, we're going to talk about location, weather, growth opportunity, career opportunity, all of that. So geographically, Charlotte sits in what's known as the Piedmont region. We've got rolling hills, we've got proximity to beaches and mountains. Raleigh sits a little bit further west, so they're closer to areas such as Topsail. Now, one of the biggest differences is you can get to Topsail Beach from Raleigh in about 2 hours, where Charlotte, our closest beach here, is going to be like Charleston or Myrtle Beach, which are about 3.5 hours away. So you're a little bit closer to the beach if you're looking over in the Raleigh area. Charlotte, you have the proximity to Asheville, to Banner Elk and everything, so you get a little bit more variety here. Weather-wise, weather is about 10 degrees cooler over in the Raleigh area. It's so weird because it's only about a 2.5, 3 hour drive, and it's actually 10 degrees cooler I swear, every time we go to Raleigh, it's cold and dreary and wet, and I don't know why, it just follows us, but you can count on it being about 10 degrees cooler. Now let's talk like vibe, right? Because overall, that's important. Weather's weather, location's location, whatever. So if you're looking for more of a bustling city, you're gonna wanna go with Charlotte. We've got the bigger skyline. We have the sports teams, right? Charlotte has the professional sports teams, whether you think they're amazing or not, but we offer every sport you can imagine. We've got the Charlotte Panthers for football. We've got the Charlotte Knights for baseball. We have the Checkers for hockey. We've got the Hornets for basketball. We've got the FC for soccer. Whatever you want, we have the large sports team, which kind of gives a feel of a larger city, right? We've got the arenas in downtown. So that alone makes us feel a little bit different, a little bit more of a city vibe. We also have a few more entertainment districts now. Maybe we do have a few more options. But I'll be honest, the couple times that I've been over to Raleigh, I think that they have just about the same, where we have South End. We have a few different areas, right? We've got South End and we've got Noda and we've got Plaza Midwood and Montford. We have a few different variations where Raleigh has smaller variations of that. Like they've got downtown, they've got the historic part, they have a couple little pockets in their neighborhoods. They got like a French Plaza area that they each kind of offers. So it's less options, but honestly, if I had to kind of balance them, I would say they're pretty even in terms of nightlife, but you are gonna have a few more options over here in the Charlotte area. If you want more of the suburban feel, you're gonna wanna go with Raleigh. Raleigh has more of the suburban feel, has higher rated schools. Again, a little bit more of an affordable housing option, so you kind of get more bang for your buck. You've got a lot of parks over in the Raleigh area that are super family friendly. You've got a handful of museums and everything. We have those over in Charlotte as well. But I have to say, based on my opinion, if you want city nightlife, go with Charlotte. If you want suburban family feel, go with Raleigh. Another thing that people ask me about here when they're relocating here is the commute times. You know, a lot of people base where they live based off of their commute. And anywhere, honestly, over in Charlotte, you can get anywhere within 30 minutes. And I have to say Raleigh's pretty similar. The two biggest differences are gonna be your quality of drive. What do I mean by that is Charlotte roads are awful. They're always under construction. Charlotte is a bit of an older city, and they weren't anticipating the growth that we've experienced here so quickly. So the infrastructure just isn't quite set up for the growth that we've experienced. So our roads are kind of beat up right now. They are actively working on them. Positive. Negative is, yes, they are always actively working on them. So there is always construction happening on our roads. So be prepared for a little bit of delays. It's funny because I've been seeing it more and more of, you know, news articles and ratings and votings being released about Charlotte being one of the worst places to drive in traffic and congestion. And I have to agree with this. The congestion here in Charlotte is terrible. So your commute times are going to be about the same, because in terms of getting from A to B, you're gonna be about 20-30 minutes wherever you wanna go in both city. The congestion and the quality of your drive is just going to be a little bit heavier here. So here in Charlotte, you're gonna be on 45 or 77 for the most part wherever you go. Those are our two major highways and they are congested, and be prepared to sit in traffic. So commute times, neck and neck. Quality of driving, you're gonna wanna go to Raleigh if you want a little bit stress-free drive to and from work. So overall, what am I saying? Well, I tend to like Charlotte just because it fits my lifestyle better, but this really does come down to your lifestyle and what works best for you and your family. If you're relocating for job growth, I'm gonna have to give it to Charlotte. I think that Charlotte has more options, more opportunities, and a quicker ability to grow in your chosen career. Now, with that said, if you happen to be in an industry such as research or education, you might wanna give Raleigh a visit because they are known for their research and their education. So career growth, gotta give to Charlotte. If you're looking for a family-friendly suburbia lifestyle, I gotta give it to Raleigh. Charlotte, out of the two, does feel like a bit of a larger city, which might provide a little bit more of an urban feel, which might appeal to young professionals, where Raleigh can appeal to families more often. If you are relocating from New York City or Chicago or a bigger city and you kind of want to stick with it, I'm gonna have to tell you to go with Charlotte. We do have that larger skyline, and we do have the professional sports teams, which automatically gives it a little bit more of a city feel. So I hope this was helpful. Overall, when you're looking at cost of living, Charlotte is a little bit more, but overall not much of a difference. If you're looking for a lifestyle, you really have to pick and choose which one is best for you. If you're looking for a little bit slower pace, family-friendly, suburban, quiet, I'm gonna give it to Raleigh. At the end of the day, it really depends on what works best for you and your lifestyle. If you're looking for career growth, a big city feel, a lot of energy, and of course, professional sports teams, check out Charlotte. If you are looking for a slower pace, perhaps want to focus on your education, or you're looking for a family-friendly area, be sure to check out Raleigh. Overall, you can't go wrong, and I'm sure you're gonna love your relocation to the Carolinas.